Hey, all right. It's Friday. It's December, and it's Ugly Sweater Day here at the Tiernan Group. And I wanted to just share that with you and tell you what we've got here. Just a nice, big, ugly sweater. And we're so happy to present to you our good friend Letty Ann from Kansas City. Letty Ann, there we go. There we go. There she is. Hey, Letty Ann, welcome to the program today. How are you doing?
James, I'm doing amazing. Thank you. It's so good to see you in your ugly sweater.
Good to see you. Oh, thank you. So before we get started, I just want everybody to know if you have questions or you want to ask Letty Ann something about what's going on in Kansas, go ahead, just type them into the comments. We know that there's people joining from all over the country, and we've got a huge fan base, both inside and outside of our network. And if you have questions for Letty Ann, let us know, type them into the comments, and we're going to flash up Letty Ann's phone number and email throughout the conversation so that you can get in touch with her directly. And if you're watching this on the replay afterwards, feel free to reach out to me. I'll get you connected with her, of course, right away. So, Letty Ann, tell us what's going on in Kansas City. I mean, where are you? Tell us all about the market there.
You bet. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. We are located right on the state line of Kansas and Missouri. So the Kansas City metropolitan area is huge, and it's made up of several different cities: Leawood, Overland Park, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri. There are a ton of, I appreciate the map there. There are some amazing suburbs and cities within the Kansas City metro area. And we are right on the state line with my office here in Leawood. I am broker owner of Letty Ann and Associates Real Estate Services, licensed in both Kansas and Missouri. Now, you asked me also about what's happening in the real estate market. Well, probably just like you, James, inventory is really at an all-time low. I mean, we said that for probably 3 years, inventory's low, but it's really low. This is actually the first time I've seen, when you go into MLS, that there are less than it's always 5,000 plus available homes, right? It's 3,724 this morning.
Wow.
I know, that's it. And this is so our MLS serves several counties. So it's a giant area, and just 3,700 homes available at this time. So things are very curious, but they're also good at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with interest rates being low, you get a huge opportunity to capture the market and help sellers. And we're finding the same thing here. We've got about, last time I looked, it was 2,700 homes. And I think the area that we serve is about some of yours, a lot of different counties across the area.
So if I can just jump in, James. So James and I are friends. We've known each other for probably more than a year now. Last time I saw James, he was making breakfast, not just for me, but for our big brother house in La Jolla. And I always remember you putting the almond milk in the scrambled eggs or something. And anyway, but the turkey bacon was delicious. I wish we could be back there, and hopefully we'll be back there soon. But back to this, I know you're streaming on my Facebook as well. So if anyone is curious what's happening in James's market, James is on the North Shore West, just outside of Chicago. Is that right, James?
Right up here, right where the little store is. I mean, if you go too far east, you run into Lake Michigan. If you go too far north, you run into Wisconsin.
So just throw out a couple of cities you service.
So the big one is Gurnee. I live in Lake Villa. My office is in Libertyville. So basically the northern area. It's all of Lake County, really. Lake County, Illinois.
Awesome. So you're experiencing the same things with inventory.
Absolutely. We're seeing a shortage of quality homes. We're looking for 4-bedroom homes for our clients in many different areas. A lot of people wanted to move up and see what's going on and see if they could find something a little bit better for themselves and their family when they're stuck at home, whether they're working from home or they're e-learning, which is a big thing we have right now.
Absolutely. And did you see a massive rush, like when the stay-at-home order was lifted? We broke records here in September. Now, granted, that's closing time. So if our stay-at-home order was lifted, what was it, May, right? August and September really saw some record closing numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. We were essential workers as realtors, so we were never really put on the sidelines. And when it all went into quarantine, everything just kind of stopped. I mean, you could walk down the freeway. There was no cars, which is incredible. But there was very few people out. But slowly but surely, everybody said, you know what? My house isn't big enough. I want something bigger. Or I want a house with a pool because the community pool isn't open all of a sudden. And they took the money that they were saving for their vacations, and instead of going to Disneyland, they bought a new house. And we saw record numbers all throughout the year. And quite honestly, it's still happening. We've seen unprecedented numbers. We had a ton of work we did, as not just myself, but my entire office in November. So it's never been a better time to be a seller because the interest rates are lower, and great opportunity for buyers.
Absolutely. We were shooting a video this morning, and we were actually saying everybody wins. With the historical low mortgage rates, that's offsetting the buyer's monthly payment due to the increase in the housing costs. But then we also talked about, I've seen, and maybe you have too, I've seen, I get emails, reduced price adjustment, this and that. That tells me, one, the house was never priced appropriately based on market value. And two, the seller is like, well, if you can get me this amount, I'll sell it. And what we said this morning is, just because your neighbor got $20,000 over list price doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get that as well.
Right. And it's what we're seeing right now is just people are getting, there's not enough homes on the market, so people are getting a little bit more price than they would have like a year ago. And the homes that didn't sell last year, they're ripe for selling this year.
Indeed. And we're seeing about 18% increase. We just got October stats out this past week because November isn't out yet because it's just early December. But prices are up on average 18% since last October. Again, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you add 18% onto your list price. There is a strategy, and James, I'm sure you tell your folks this as well. There's a strategy behind the pricing of your home. But there's also a strategy, you need to hire a real estate professional when you're purchasing a house. There's a strategy behind multiple offers. What you as the buyer, that person who represents you, they need to have a strategy to set your offer apart so you're on the top of the list for the seller.
Yeah, we're seeing time and time again, and that's the challenging part more often than not, is the fact that we have to compete so many times. And I've helped many people win their offer by doing a little bit different, and those small adjustments that you and I know about because we do this all the time. Those make a huge difference in edging out the competition.
Yeah, who you hire matters with your biggest asset. Now, let me ask you this, James. If you have a property listed, how often do you see an offer in your inbox and that agent for the buyer never even called you or texted you or anything?
More often than not, all the time.
Help me understand the mindset there.
Yeah,
what in God's name are these agents doing, people?
Yeah, I want to have those conversations with the agent so that we can, know if we're competing with somebody, and then I have the agents that say, well, do you have any offers? It's like, well, we can't really talk about the presence of offers because I'm not going to tell you that I have an offer because I don't want to scare you away. But I also don't want to tell you I don't have an offer because I don't want you to go super low, right? What I do is I call and say, hey, is there anything I need to know about this home, right? And just let the other agent show me their cards, because more often than not, they do.
Yep, and I even would call and say, hey, we're considering making an offer on your listed property. What's most important to the seller? And then, like you said, and but you know what? You're also creating a relationship with that listing agent that you're going to be top of mind, and hopefully your buyers are as well. So
yeah, absolutely. This is great. This is a great conversation, and we do that all the time for our folks. So let me ask you, who are you seeing buying and selling homes in Kansas City right now?
we're not in an investor market. Now, granted, investors are finding houses that are off market and doing their fix and flips and things like that. They have their strategy for that. Uh, I'm seeing maybe some, I'll say second homes or investment. I'm seeing investors selling properties because this is the time to sell.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Now, if you're wanting to invest in real estate, maybe for an Airbnb, or maybe you're looking to add to your rental pool, I might suggest now is not the time to do that, unless there's a reason why you have to do it at this time. But people who, honestly, James, I've assisted a lot of folks moving out of state. They're selling, they moved to Florida, or they're selling and they've moved to Idaho. Whether they're close to retirement or they're working from home. I'm seeing some people leave. And I'm also seeing a lot of people inquire about rural property. So, pardon me?
Tell me more about that.
They were wanting more land, more space. We want to get out of our subdivision. We've always wanted, this is what I'm hearing. We've always dreamed of living on 10 acres. We've always dreamed of not living in a subdivision. Our kids are, so people are like, you know what? Time is of the essence. The things we say we're going to do one day, people are like, dang it, let's do it now.
Today's right day. Today is that one day right now.
Today's the day.
I think 2020 has taught many of us that lesson. It's like, what am I waiting for? Just knock it out,
Yep. I've also seen, I've had a couple of clients purchase a second home elsewhere. So outside of Kansas City. Now they're like, well, you know what? We're going to downsize here and we're going to get that home on Sanibel Island that we've always dreamed of and spend the winters there. This is, again, we've always said we'd do this one day. Damn it, we're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like you, we see a lot of people moving out of state, whether it's because we have a tax issue, whether it's because they want a warmer climate, or many people, they're retiring, or they realize if they can work from home, their home can be anywhere, and so they're leaving and they're going someplace they like better, whether it's close to family or just a better climate.
And why not? I mean, why not? If maybe I'll consider doing that myself, but my office is here, and I of course love serving the metropolitan area and the clients and my friends here. But even my son, he lives in San Diego, James. He's now working from home, and that is now maybe indefinitely. Wow. And he's like, Mom, you know what? Maybe I'll get a month to month in San Diego, and then I'm going to go a month in Colorado so I can ski during the winter, and then I think I'll spend a month at home. I mean, he's like, what do you think? I'm like, do it. Why not?
Get an RV and just drive around.
Yeah, probably he wouldn't want to do that, but this pandemic has created a lot of opportunity, and don't let me discount a lot of heartache for many people. But I think education is key with options that one has, and asking questions is always a good thing to someone who's a full-time professional in that industry, like real estate, for example.
Yeah. Now, we talked about, you saw a lot of people leaving. Who do you see moving to Kansas City? Who's your typical out-of-town buyer?
I'm seeing people that want to move closer to family. There's a doctor in Iowa who said, my wife's family lives in Overland Park, Kansas. I'm going to leave my practice, the hospital where I'm working, and I've already applied. He's a doctor. They want to be closer to family. They want our parents down the street while they're raising their children. I'm seeing that. I'm not seeing a whole lot of corporate moves at this time. Again, I think there's a lot of feeling involved for the people that are moving, whether it's in or out of state.
Okay. As far as corporate moves, who are the corporations that are primarily in your area?
Well, we have Yellow Freight, we have Cerner, we have Burns and McDonnell, we have several big. Did I mention Yellow Freight? Right. I think they might be under. They're called YRC now. But we're in the dead center of the United States, so there's a lot of opportunity here in Kansas City. Plus, we've seen a lot of revitalization as well in the housing industry because so many investors are doing what they do best and taking distressed properties and creating affordable housing for those who maybe otherwise thought they couldn't afford the houses. So just super proud. It's a beautiful city. Our Chiefs are great. I'm still a Steeler fan, but Chiefs.
The Steelers are undefeated.
Dude, I know.
I've never been a Steelers fan, but I can definitely respect an undefeated team.
Go Big Ben. He's going to go out in style. So, but I mean, Patrick Mahomes, all the Chiefs, they're just great people. They have put so much energy back into football here, and they're so fun to watch. So,
oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So my husband, the Steeler game was on the other night, Wednesday afternoon, very awkward time. And, he wants the Steelers to at least lose one. So the Chiefs have home field advantage, and I'm like, oh, I said, but let's go to Pittsburgh if the Chiefs play there. So,
well, you know what's between Pittsburgh and Kansas City? Chicago.
Well, sort of. It sort of is. Yes.
So if you're taking a road trip,
Well, and my brother lives in Winnetka. So, of course,
okay.
when I'm back there, I will certainly look you up, James. But I'm delighted and honored to be on your show today, and certainly appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure, and we love talking about real estate with other agents and other markets because you never know what you're going to learn when you talk to somebody from a different town.
Indeed.
So the last question I have, this is one of the things that I really enjoy asking is, what are the 3 things that you want someone to know that's buying a home in your area?
I mentioned some of these before. Strategy matters.
Yep.
Who you hire matters. And do your homework.
Do your homework.
Do your homework. Yep. To do your homework.
Okay.
I've had buyers who, and this likely would happen to you. We always have our needs and wants meeting, right, James?
Oh yeah.
What are your buyer's needs? Okay, those are your needs. Well, now what do you want? Okay, here's what you want. And then the first house they see, they're like, we love it. We want to write it up. And I'll go, I'm looking at your needs and wants list. Only 4 things are checked off here. And we've only seen one house. They're like, no, but this is going to go fast. We want it. I said, do me a favor, sleep on it. And then they get a little bit mad at me. I said, please sleep on it. I'll let you know if there's any other offers in, or if we're, call me first thing in the morning. This has happened time and time again. Call me. They're like, thank you. I'm like, you're welcome. Let's go out and check out some more houses, because they get so excited.
Yeah.
Or they're very fearful that they'll lose this house. And I'm like, you're not in that big of a hurry. Let's really just take a deep breath and find you what you want. You're going to live here for years.
Exactly. You don't have to jump at the first house unless you really love it. And there's nothing wrong with buying the first house you see. Unless you like everything, then we should see a few.
Exactly. And if they called the next day and say, you know what, we still love it. We know it only checks off 4 things, but we're still, and I'm like, cool, beautiful. Don't want you to have buyer's remorse, because that happens.
Yeah. As long as it fits your, checks your box and fits in your price range, then we're good to go.
Right. I love your background there, James. It's is that a wood paneling? Is that your office? It's really cool.
Yeah. So we put in a wood wall just to give it some depth and then we have the decorations. We can just move things around at will and redecorate, so that the background's not, a boring white screen or, something. It's just something with some character,
I love it. And it's better than those Zoom backgrounds, because they always cut off like half your face.
You can't wear green, you lose an ear.
Yeah. And, I'm really not at the beach when there's a palm tree behind me, so, why fake it? Just be where you are. And then, right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have the window where you are, you can have like the Today Show where you can see people and people can make faces behind you.
Yeah, we had to put a rope up because there's several people trying to get on the camera.
Hey, Letty Ann, thank you so much for spending time. We didn't put all the information we promised putting up the banners and stuff.
That's right.
So
let's do it
we
quickly.
do that real quick. If you want to touch base with Letty Ann, here's her phone number. Okay. And then we'll throw up her. There we go. There's Letty Ann's email. So if you want to touch base with Letty Ann, find out more about Kansas City, please feel free to reach out. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Now, here's the thing I always like to add. If you want to move to another city, whether it's Kansas City or someplace else, let us know and we'll get you connected with a great agent. In fact, we'll interview them so that you can get a feel for what that town looks like if you haven't been there in a while. Well, thank you so much. Have a great day and have a fantastic holidays.
Can I, you as well, but can I toss in one more thing?
Yeah.
I'm a podcast host of a successful real estate podcast called Real Estate U like university, Real Estate U with Letty Ann, Real Estate U with Letty Ann, available on audio and video on all your major podcast platforms. So thank you for not letting me forget to say that, James. And happy holidays to you. I want to see you again soon, I hope.
Thank you. Now, you stay right there. I got some more questions. We will talk off air.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.